The other day, a friend of mine asked for some more boy finger puppet ideas, and so today I'm going to be showing you a boy finger puppet that I made for my son. So I'm showing you also a couple of the other accessories that we picked up from Michael's kind of a long time ago actually, and I thought they'd make nice accessories for the finger puppets, and so I had intended them for another project, but I finally pulled them out and my kids wanted to open them up and play with them. And I'm also showing you a couple of keys that are going to be a nice accessory for this little boy puppet. So my daughter there is helping out, and so it's going to get a little distracting on the side there because she's going to walk me through this whole finger puppet, even though this one is not for her. So she's going to be telling me what to do. So I'm just going to cut up some brown yarn to make hair, and it's kind of a little challenging to make boy hair. It's actually challenging to make any hair that's not going to end up being partially covered by like a headband or a scarf, because the glue ends up kind of showing through. So I'm just going to keep working this until I have just kind of a bushy head of hair for this boy finger puppet. And once I get enough of hair on there and it's kind of all glued into place, then I can go back in and just kind of trim off the pieces that are a bit too long. So it takes a few minutes. It tends to be the longest part of the whole process, but once it's nice and full, I can just kind of trim it off a little bit and then just kind of ruffle it up. Alright, so next we need to have like a little outfit, and this is just going to be brown on brown. I always add a cloak for these finger puppets, even if they are a boy finger puppet, just because there aren't any arms or legs, and so it's more challenging to distinguish male from female when doing these. And so I'm just going to make this one shorter and more snug than I normally do. And so it's just going to wrap completely around. And this makes it easier for the finger puppet to stand up, but it's not really that exciting actually. Alright, so I'm just going to get it all glued into place, and then I'm going to cut a coordinating piece of felt in a bit of a darker brown for the cloak. And then I have to think about what kind of accessories I can use for this one, just to kind of distinguish him from the rest. And I wanted to make this as quick as possible for this one. We're doing this kind of like in the evening, and I didn't have a lot of other accessories, and so I decided to make him a scarf. And I do need to go out and get some more little I don't know, I guess a variety of little accessories that would work well for a boy finger puppet, but for this one I'm going to just braid him a scarf, and I end up making it quite thick. And so if you want to do this, I would say just using 1 or maybe 2 strands per piece of the braid that you make is probably better. And I think I used 3, and so it was really, really thick by the time I was done, but I was too lazy to make another one, so I'm just going to kind of squeeze it around his neck and try not to make it too like bulky, but it was, compared to the other scarves that I made for my boy finger puppets, this one was quite bulky. Alright, so I'm going to add a little button to the front of his cloak, and all this time I'm kind of thinking like how I can add another thing for this one. And my kids really love interactive or removable little accessories, and so I'm going to make him a little kind of like a saddle bag. And this is a very tiny little piece of felt that I'm just going to fold in half, and I'm going to add a little button to the front of it. But I don't really have any leather strips anymore to kind of make some straps for it. And so I'm kind of at this point thinking how I can make him like how I'm going to put this saddlebag onto this finger puppet. And I try out a couple different things. I cut them mostly out. I tried some yarn, I tried some felt, and I finally end up, oh, here I'm just putting the little key inside just to make sure it fits. So I'm going to finally end up using some twine that you would normally use like in the kitchen to tie up chicken before you bake it. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to burn myself here. yikes, I just pull my hand out really fast and it was hot. So I want to make sure that this string is going to go around his neck because I'm intending for it for the whole accessory to be removable. Here I'm a little bit more cautious the next time I put the glue inside. But okay, so I want to color the twine so that it doesn't have such a stark contrast. So I'm just using a Copic marker, which is a permanent alcohol-based marker, just to give it some brown color, just to kind of look like it's all one piece. And now it does go over his head, and you can take it off, but I think I end up kind of gluing it in place just to make sure that it doesn't get lost. So here are some still pictures of the finger puppet all finished, and my son was ecstatic because the girl finger puppets are, I don't know, a little bit easier, more creative to make, and so he was really thrilled to have a boy. The population of finger puppets in our family is like 5-to-1 girl to boy. So if you enjoyed seeing this finger puppet and you want to see the other boy finger puppet that we made, you can click here for that video tutorial. And if you'd like to see the complete playlist of all of our finger puppets, you can click here for that video, or that playlist rather. And if you would like to see the little pretend play space that I made for the kids, you can click here for that video. But really, kids can play with these finger puppets anywhere. Alright, and if you want to see more pictures, you can always check out my website at pepperandpine.com. Alright, thanks for watching.